Preseason camp right there. We're underway. All right, well, we're glad to be here, and I don't really have any too much to say. I'll answer all your questions, but what I did want to just say is we're excited. Obviously, transitions are tough with everybody involved. We're very grateful and appreciative for the effort that our student athletes have given, most particularly over the summer. And the coaches obviously worked really hard to get to the point where we can start preseason camp on an equal footing. So I know for me personally, I'm excited to have a lot of the external out of the way and get in here and get in these buildings and on that field for the next 30 days about with the team. So we're excited, and you know, it's not too long before we'll be kicking it off on Labor Day night. So with that, I'll just open up for questions and go from there.
Hal, without breaking state secrets or anything like that, do you know what you'll say tomorrow morning, tonight, whatever the first time you address the whole group? I mean, do you have a plan for that, or just sort of you wing it? Those moments you sort of wing them kind of as you feel.
No, I think it's a good question. I think for us right now, we're going to stay on message, and the message for us has been conditioning and unity. And there's no better time. Look, there's two ways a team goes in training camp. Either it develops poor morale, or it becomes really strong. And we need this team to come very strong, very close, and obviously this whole camp is designed for those two, you know, to really support those two initiatives. And really, it's really important for me, and it has been since I got here, that we practice and play like Miami Hurricanes. That means with energy, with passion, with toughness, with a little edge. And we got to develop that here. And clearly, I believe that conditioning and unity are going to be the root of that.
And just a kind of a housekeeping sort of thing. Everybody who's supposed to be here, you expect to arrive, show up, no issues, no travel issues, no nothing like that, right now?
No, I think we're in pretty good shape. There's still a couple of clearinghouse issues that we're still working through, and obviously they're hard to expand upon because of the young man's privacy and those types of things. But we'll keep you abreast if you know it looks like it's going to develop into a long-term thing.
What can you say about Chantrell Henderson's situation?
Yeah, just that he is going to get surgery. There's not a person walking the planet that knows what that's going to mean. They won't know until they actually do it. They don't know what kind of recovery that's going to be. And as in all these cases, if it looks like it's going to be a long-term thing, I will announce that, as we have with Cheyenne and several of the other players in the spring. But right now, we don't know what the extent of that actual pain or what they're trying to relieve is, and hopefully we'll get good news.
Obviously, there's always a transition period. Do you feel a comfort level has been reached? I mean, you've established the relationship, you know, from the players to you and from you to the players. You feel comfortable now?
No, I don't think I ever feel comfortable with it. I think it's a work in progress. I think relationships have to be worked at every day, and we're trying to develop partnerships. We're trying to develop trust with these young men, and obviously we're trying to develop leaders. So I think you really can't do much over the summer anymore. You can't really have much interaction with them. So that's unfortunate. But the good news is they'll we'll probably sway the other way over the next 30 days. They'll probably get sick of us. So, but it's going to be a good time for us to get to know each other better, and we'll make sure we work on our relationships with every player.
What do you do tomorrow? Can you talk about the first day, what you plan to get done?
Yeah, our typical day for our one-a-days guys is, we start our treatments and breakfast at 6 a.m. That means they're getting treatment, they're taping, they're doing all those things. And we'll be on the field at about 8:20. Generally off the field by, everything all wrapped up by 11. The guys will go get lunch, get some rest, then we'll come back and have some meetings, watch the film. On some days get a lift, that type of thing, have a walkthrough if you have to, and then go to dinner and then come back and do some more meetings. So it can be mundane, between the different coaches that will be speaking on topics, the different players that will be speaking on different things in our position entertainment. We try to make it fun, so we'll do that.
Which unit would you like to see the most improvement throughout fall camp?
Which unit would I like to see the most improvement? Well, clearly the quarterback. You mean position, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the quarterback position has to show the most improvement. I think you know I'm just like many. I'm a firm believer that quarterback play really dictates the outcomes of games. You know, for the most part. So our quarterback position has to be the most improved going into coming out of preseason camp. And I also think our secondary has to be the most improved. We have some talent there. We're inexperienced at certain areas, but we have some maturity there. When you think of Williams and Chambers and JoJo, and of course the safety. So our secondary as a unit playing together and being cohesive and being confident with the defensive calls and not having any blown assignments will be critical for us.
Now, how much time will you personally spend watching, evaluating kickers?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot. We have an on-the-line period every day that we chart. Every kick and punt from the on-the-line period throughout the course of practice we chart. We chart the times, we chart the snap times, we chart the hang times, we chart the operation time, we chart the accuracy. So I think every kicker that's in camp understands that there is no, for them it's not about the scrimmage. For them it's about performing every day, and the depth will reflect that. So make no mistake that is a wide open competition at kicker, place kicker, kickoffs, and at the punting game. And I'm as anxious as anybody to see how that develops.
Who do you have with bots? Who will compete with bots as a punter? We know the kicker situation.
Well, Wyclaw will, Cameron Dean will, and we're bringing in a whole bunch of other young guys when we release the roster. I don't know if we've updated that roster. Okay, so we'll update the roster for you with the 105. You'll get a list of all the kickers and punters.
Does Wyclaw have any kind of an advantage just because he's been here a couple of years, went this spring?
Certainly. Just anybody that's, experience is, it's important, and it's certainly important at that position. And I'm sure Gudis will have something to say about being a punter as well. I think Gudis is a young man that wants to do all three. So we'll see how that transpires.
Coach, last couple of years, Jacory and Steven really didn't have any or much, if any, freedom to change plays, audible at the line. What's kind of your philosophy on that? Will that change?
They will, absolutely. Yeah, I think you have to trust them. Get us in the right look. It's part of our system, so they will be doing more of that than they have been.
Can you talk about your decision to move Eduardo back to running back?
Yeah, again, for us, it's about getting the best players on the field, and the coaches always rank the players. On offense and defense, and if a guy's not in mix at a certain position, or it looks like he can help us out at another position, and in Eduardo's case, running back, kick returner, punt returner, special teams guy, all those things, it looks right now that his best chance to do that is at running back. Now, is that going to change during camp? It could change for a number of players, but our job as coaches is to get the best 22 on the field. And we think right now that he has a better shot to impact this team and help this team on offense.
Kevin Grooms, will he be starting as a running back?
He will be, and he's one of the clearinghouse issues right now that I'm not going to elaborate on.
Between the quarterbacks, how are you going to, what's the standards with which you're measuring, you're evaluating, where are you placing the most emphasis on who's going to win the quarterback competition?
Well, I think obviously completion percentage is critical. Interceptions, critical. Leadership, decision making, all of those things will factor in, and they'll be evaluated every day. And as we start here, Stephen and Jacory will probably rotate series. In other words, it's not like a scrimmage. In practice, it's segments. So if we're doing a 7-on segment, Jacory may go with the 1s, and Stephen may go with the 2s in the next segment. If it's a perimeter period, they might just switch. So they'll both get ample opportunity to throw with the 1 receivers, and we're gonna chart them every day. And again, we know what it needs to look like in terms of us improving, bringing the turnovers down, bringing our interceptions down, and then obviously making better decisions with the football, most particularly in the red zone. If that doesn't get fixed, by one of them, that's going to be an easy decision for us to make as a staff.
Do either of the two quarterbacks have an edge, or you're looking at?
No, I think it's a dead heat.
Point?
I really do. And again, I could say it publicly, but I've also said it privately, because, you know, there's people that are really close to me that say, okay, now tell me the truth. And I said, here's the truth. The truth is this is a dead heat, and this will be decided here in the next, 14, 15 days.
With the wide receivers, we're hearing a lot of different names of guys that have stepped up and had good off seasons. I guess a lot of them kind of missed spring ball with injuries. But what's your take on that unit, and just your excitement or your thoughts on that unit?
Excited. I'm also excited because guys like Hearns and Kendall and DJ are guys that are willing to do special teams, you know, and not just as kick returners or punt returners. So I'm anxious to see how that develops. I think, you know, Rayshawn and Phillip have really thrown a wrench into the mix, because I don't think anybody was counting on them to be as mature and as intelligent and could pick up the offense as quickly as they have, just, you know, out here with 7-on-7s and those types of things. So just talking to those two young men, they're driven. Just talking to their peers. If you talk to some of the receivers, they're very impressed with the way they came into shape. Conditioning won't be a factor. It's just going to be opportunities for them in training camp. I think you all know, you know, the elder statesman of the group. Aldarius had a good summer. Travis Benjamin was a little bit nicked up in the spring, you know, with his shoulder, and he's had an awesome off season. Street has had an awesome off season. Bird has been one of our leaders, steady, since we've been here. So I'm as excited as anybody about that group, and I don't know how it's going to shake out here in camp, but I'm really excited about that group.
Al, are you thinking with Brandon Washington? I know he said about possibly moving right tackle. You mentioned it as well. Have you decided on that?
The best five. You know, right now McDermott and Horn are in a big battle at center.
Really?
You know, Fig looks like he's really healthy, so he'll have something to say at guard. And you know, Brandon certainly looks like he has the feet to play in space and to play tackle. So we'll mix those guys and match those guys. Jermaine Barton had a good summer. You know, so we'll mix and match those guys. And if we can play 10 in the opener, we'll play 10. If it looks like it's 8, then we'll have some guys that will play double duty. So I don't know how it's going to shake out. It might be McDermott's starting at center and Horns at guard. It might be Horns the starter at center, and we move Linder over to a guard spot. So that's going to be a very flexible position group throughout training camp.
Can you elaborate a little more on Street? You said he had an awesome, was it him? Yeah, you said he had an awesome offseason, and also Hearns. What you like, you know, what you expect from them?
Yeah, I think Street's had a great work ethic. He's had a great attitude. His approach has been really good. Right. And again, I think, you know, sometimes kids come in with such high expectations, and it's not what everybody wants, and they get frustrated. You know, I'm looking at it in the spring like Street's got 2 more years left. And boy, what a big year this would be for him if he had a big year and then had another year to play. So I'm amazed at how fast he is for his size, and he's done a really good job. He's really been working hard on his own time, giving up weekends and coming back and throwing at night. So I'm really excited for him.
And Hearns?
Hearns has been, you know, just one of those guys who's smart, who's tough, who's disciplined. I know it sounds cliche, but that's what we're looking for. His house is in order. He gets better every day because he's not worried about any distractions or anything else. He takes care of business.
One more. I was going to ask you about A.J. Highsmith. How has he done with the transition, and how much do you expect him to play this year?
Good. I expect him to compete for a starting job from day one. I think you can argue over the last 5 or 6 practices in spring that he made the most improvement. He had been away from playing in the secondary for 2 years. Obviously wasn't trained to be a tackler for 2 years. So I think he made a lot of progress. He's another kid that's really smart. He runs well. He's got good hips. So I'm anxious to see how he develops and how he competes for playing time there.